Hello everybody and welcome to my in-depth analysis of Super Bowl 59. Obviously the Super Bowl was last night, so it's still fresh in everybody's minds. But I just wanted to go over a bunch of things I thought during the game. I want to go over crucial plays and just a whole bunch of stuff. This is an in-depth analysis of the Super Bowl. And yeah, there's a lot to talk about, so we should probably just get straight into it. But yeah, the Giant has been slain. And the Eagles are Super Bowl champions for the second time in franchise history. So as I talked about in the intro, basically what we're going to do is go over a bunch of crucial plays from the Super Bowl. We're going to be drawing from the highlight video that the NFL posted on YouTube. And basically I have a bunch of timestamps for stuff I want to talk about, so obviously there's a ton of things I want to talk about in this video. But the first crucial play of the game was when the Eagles decided to go for it on 4th down at midfield. Obviously it's a very high risk play because if they don't pick up the first down, then basically they're going to give the Chiefs the ball at midfield for the Chiefs' opening drive of the game. But basically how this goes is they throw the ball to Jalen Hurts, quick play, but they call it into a penalty on A.J. Brown for basically, he barely even touched Trent McDuffie. It was a dumb penalty. I mean, he did touch Trent McDuffie's face mask, but it wasn't like, it was just a dumb penalty. Let's just put it that way. And people were already screaming at the refs basically really quickly in this game. Are they going to show the replay? Yeah, they are. So basically, that's the penalty right there. He gives him a little happy slap. Okay, he's playing patty cakes, but, you know, obviously that was a dumb penalty. He hardly even touched him, but obviously this penalty wouldn't have a huge impact as the game as a whole because the Eagles just overpowered the Chiefs basically at every single position. The next play I want to talk about is basically the first time in the game where Patrick Mahomes was really severely under pressure. Basically, this is where the Eagles forced Patrick Mahomes to run for his life for the first time on their opening drive of the game. Yeah, I wrote in the timestamps, I wrote a storm's a brewing because this is basically the first time you could have realized that this was not going to be a good day for Patrick Mahomes. So already, as you can see, the Eagles are just dominating the Chiefs' offensive line. It's just collapsing. Patrick Mahomes has to run for his life. Already, look at him. He's literally going to run the whole length of the field, basically, across the field, not straight and back. But anyway, and his pass, he's already forced to make a dangerous pass, and it could have very well should have been probably intercepted, but the two Eagles players really bumped into each other, which stopped that one from getting intercepted. But this play right here really just showed us, you know, that Patrick Mahomes is going to be running for his life basically the whole game. And that's basically obviously how it went. The Eagles sacked Patrick Mahomes 6 times, and it was just obviously one of the most dominant performances by a defensive line in Super Bowl history because they sacked him 6 times, but they didn't blitz at all. I mean, it's an absolute dominant performance from the Philadelphia Eagles that we'll talk about for years to come. But the next play I want to talk about is already here because it's the next play in the video. And that is this play where it's the first big, chunk play for the Eagles all game where they throw it to Dallas Goedert. And as you can see, he's literally wide open. And this is basically just shows how the game's going to go because the Eagles had wide open wide receivers basically all game. And of course, the Eagles offensive line had great pass protection. I guess that leads me to the other thing I want to talk about, which is before the game started, or I guess it was during the game, they probably said this, but on Fox they were talking about how the Eagles offensive line is the average, tallest, and weighs the most, basically the biggest offensive line to ever start a Super Bowl ever. And they showed it. This is honestly probably one of the best offensive lines we've ever seen. And the Eagles just dominated the line of scrimmage basically all game. And that's really how you beat the Chiefs, is dominating the line of scrimmage, because normally how the Chiefs win is dominating the line of scrimmage. So they basically beat them at their own game. The next play I want to talk about is the deep bomb that Jalen Hurts is about to throw here. And really, I don't really need to have this in slow motion anymore, so we'll fix that. But yes, this is Jalen Hurts pass to Jawan Dotson. That was originally ruled a touchdown, but of course his knee was down at the 1, so it wasn't a touchdown. And then of course the Eagles would continue to run their signature play, the brotherly shove, as we call it, whatever you want to call it, to punch in the first touchdown of the game. But yeah, his knee is clearly down right there. Actually, that was not really the 1. That was more like, it wasn't the 2. It was in between the 1 and the 2-yard line. But yeah, so obviously we all know what the Eagles were going to do here, and they easily scored the first touchdown of the game. So Jalen Hurts got a rushing touchdown. So yeah, first touchdown, and it was already 7-0. We're going right back to the Eagles because the Chiefs literally just did nothing on the following drive, which was basically how a lot of the first half went. The Chiefs just did nothing. They just could not move the ball. It was pathetic. Absolutely terrible showing from the Chiefs. Obviously, everybody already knows that. And we're going to talk about that after we're done going over a lot of these crucial plays. But, yeah, so this is Jalen Hurts' first interception. This one I was like, when I was like, man, we got a game here, this game. This is going to be a good game. But obviously, it was a blowout. But I just don't understand what Jalen Hurts was doing. And then they immediately go to the Chiefs drive. They don't even show a replay of that. So we're going to put that probably in slow motion because that is an interesting play to go over. So, I just don't, Jalen Hurts did not start the game good with that interception, but obviously he rebounded, because he was named Super Bowl MVP. Yeah, obviously everybody probably already knows that. But yeah, well, it was just a miscommunication between Jalen Hurts and A.J. Brown. So yeah, he's throwing the deep ball, and yeah, it was just an interception by Brian Cook, and miscommunication. A.J. Brown was nowhere near that ball. Fast forward a few drives here, the Eagles have a field goal. And the Chiefs did nothing with their following drive, of course, which is just the theme of the game. The Chiefs were just struggling to move the ball at all. But yeah, this is just a horrible drive by the Chiefs here, where they take back-to-back sacks with Patrick Mahomes, and this is just where the Philly pass rush was just going ridiculous. So this was the first sack of the game on Patrick Mahomes, and of course, it was the second sack was right after this. It's just the offensive line of the Chiefs was just so terrible in this game. They just got absolutely beat up by the Philadelphia Eagles. The Eagles' defensive line is just amazing. And see, this is literally the next play, back to back. Patrick Mahomes has no time to throw. Look, he has no time. He's just swarmed by everybody, and that's just basically the story of the game, obviously. And then this is the play right after both those sacks, so it's 3rd and long after both those sacks. And this is funny because I wrote on this timestamp I put Mahomes' first TD pass of game. Obviously, most people watching the Super Bowl from last night know exactly where this is going to go. This is Mahomes' first touchdown pass of the game, and obviously there's a lot to break down here. Now, unfortunately, this touchdown pass is obviously to the other team. As you can see here, Patrick Mahomes threw a really bad pass, and we can put this in normal speed now, probably. Yeah, Cooper DeJean, who obviously had an amazing rookie season for the Philadelphia Eagles, intercepted Patrick Mahomes and ran it back for a touchdown. So Patrick Mahomes' touchdown pass, unfortunately, was to the other team. Yes, Patrick Mahomes threw a pick six. But yeah, this is just basically the story of the game. I mean, Patrick Mahomes was just constantly under pressure and just could not make good throws. So here's the replay of that. Patrick Mahomes is swinging over here, and Cooper DeJean makes a great play, great read by Cooper DeJean to score a touchdown on his birthday, which obviously everyone's already talked enough about, but still, great catch. And yeah, Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs have a horrible start to the game. It's already 17-0. It's already 17-0, and there's 5 minutes and 40. This is the second quarter. It's 17-0. This game was ugly right away. And do I have a timestamp here? Yeah, 6:55. Okay. This is the third sack of the game. This is where things get bad. Still, look at this. Patrick Mahomes is sacked again. He runs into his own offensive lineman. The Eagles were feasting. I mean, they were just destroying Patrick Mahomes. Okay, and the Eagles got the ball back, obviously. And Saquon Barkley. That was the one thing that the Chiefs did a good job of in this game, was containing Saquon Barkley. Now, that being said, Saquon Barkley still had 97 yards from scrimmage, so even that they didn't do a great job of. But he did only have 57 rushing yards. If you would have told the Kansas City Chiefs, this is a quote from Kevin Burkhardt during the Super Bowl. He said, what did he say? He said that if you would have told the Chiefs they would have held Saquon Barkley to 57 rush yards in this game, they'd be pretty thrilled. If you would have told them they'd be down 40-6 at one point, they wouldn't be thrilled. But yeah. Fast forward a bit more. We're at the 2-minute warning in the second quarter. Obviously, still 17-0. The Chiefs. And this is a crucial point in the game for the Chiefs defense. They have got to make a stop on 3rd down to basically, give the Chiefs the ball back, so their offense can hopefully, obviously, do something. So the Chiefs defense has to make a stop. This is what they do. Jalen Hurts is going to go for A.J. Brown. It's a bad throw. Another miscommunication by A.J. Brown and Jalen Hurts, and that gives the Chiefs offense a chance to, go down the field and score a touchdown. But it does not go well, obviously, because, Patrick Mahomes just immediately throws an interception. Sorry, I just ended the video. But anyway, their defense just basically got a stop, and then Patrick Mahomes immediately throws an interception at the 14-yard line. And that is an amazing catch by Zach Bond, by the way, and probably, one of the best catches of the game. And that leads to this play, which the first play is a touchdown to A.J. Brown. So this is the first I mean, it's the first passing touchdown for the Eagles in the game. And this game is already starting to get seriously ugly. I mean, it hasn't even been halftime yet. It's already 23 to nothing, but they kicked the extra point. 24 to nothing. This is just, it's ugly. This has been an ugly game. So as you can see, this game has just not been going well for them at all. You know, the Chiefs get a big stop, and they have a chance to go down the field and score a touchdown before halftime, and at least make it 7-17. And then Patrick Mahomes throws his second interception in the game immediately after getting a stop. It's just crazy how bad they were in this game. Continuing on here, and also I just want to really realize that I'm not the best play-by-play commentator, especially when watching highlights. But it doesn't really matter. We're going to get through this. So, 9-minute and 11-second mark in the video is when I wrote the D-hop drop. But basically, the Chiefs, obviously, after that touchdown, they could still go down the drive and at least get a touchdown before halftime to make it 7-24. And that's exactly what they're going to try and do. But unfortunately, on 3rd down and 11, Patrick Mahomes makes a great throw under pressure to DeAndre Hopkins, who literally just drops the ball. This guy is getting paid millions of dollars to just drop the ball. And yeah, he's pretty disappointed in himself. But yeah, so they could have at least went down the field. But on 3rd down and 11, what is this play? 2nd down and 4? Okay, that's after halftime. Okay, that makes sense. I was about to say, what did they just go to? So yeah, that was the last play of the quarter, I guess. I mean, the Eagles they ran down the clock after that. So yeah, DeAndre Hopkins dropped the ball. Chiefs had to punt the ball right straight back to the Eagles, and they would take it to halftime. Halftime score, 24-0. So yeah, Chiefs did get the ball to start the second half, but it didn't matter because right on the opening drive, Patrick Mahomes takes yet another sack. This one's pretty ugly again. The offensive line just could not protect him all game. It was just overpowered by the Eagles. It's just crazy. So that was the 4th sack of the game. Fifth sack of the game incoming. It's not over yet, folks. It's still, this was, oh my goodness. He has nowhere to go. Nowhere to go. Patrick Mahomes just could not get comfortable in this game. Tom Brady was saying it the whole time. Patrick Mahomes was just antsy. He was just antsy the whole time. He was constantly under pressure. And even then, this was, severely reminiscent of Super Bowl 55, Chiefs vs. Buccaneers, where obviously Patrick Mahomes was under pressure that whole game too. They lost 31-9, I think. But yeah, this was way worse than the Bucs game now, I'm just telling you that. This next play is basically how the Chiefs finally get pressure, and Jalen Hurts just eludes it and gets a big chunk play. So as you can see, Jalen Hurts under pressure. He's just going to run and get the heck out of there and pick up a huge first down because it was 3rd down and 5. And then the Eagles would literally do that again. I wrote in the timestamps again, so I'm assuming Jalen Hurts gets another big play with his legs here. Oh, never mind. This is the Saquon handoff. Yeah, that was probably either the first or second longest run Saquon Barkley had all game. The play after this, I'm pretty sure, yeah, this will be the play where Jalen Hurts gets more yards with his legs. When the Chiefs finally bring pressure, Jalen Hurts gets out of there and just does this. So even when the Chiefs got pressure on Jalen Hurts, which they didn't do much in this game, because the Eagles' offensive line was just so dominant, there's Steve Spagnuolo, he's so confused. But anyway, basically Jalen Hurts would just avoid the pressure and pick up huge yardage with his legs. The Chiefs just had no answer for Philadelphia's offense in this game. What was the next thing I was going to say? Saquon's helmet catch. Is that what this is? Yes, this is Saquon's crazy helmet catch. Really, it's not really a helmet catch. He did kind of use his helmet to catch it. It just sounds cooler. Oh, yeah, by the way, that's a funny thing right there. Okay, I'm replaying that because we need to go more in depth to that. So, basically, it's a great catch by Saquon Barkley, one of his few big chunk plays of the game. Look at Saquon, by the way, when he tosses the ball back to the ref. He's like, yeah, I know, I'm good. He's like, yeah, I know, we're good. We're the best. And then right after that is this touchdown play. Or no, I'm pretty sure they don't score a touchdown here. He tries. Yeah, he's going to try and throw it to Devontae Smith. It doesn't work. It goes out of bounds. And they have to kick a field goal, which will make the score 27-0. I wrote, oh my goodness. I wrote here And I wrote at this point in time, the game is over. So right after you kick this field goal, it's 27-0. So at that point in time, it was 24-0. Like it's obviously not looking good, duh. But we've seen Tom Brady come back from 25 points down in the Super Bowl. So it's like the game's not over yet. We've seen crazier things happen, but now it's 27-0. So the game was over. So this is a point in time where basically the Chiefs really have no chance to win. And obviously it's Patrick Mahomes, so there's still hope and stuff, but 5 minutes and 18 seconds to go in the third quarter, and this is when America had to watch basically garbage time. So from here on out, it's basically just a sleep fest because the game's basically over. The Chiefs have lost this game, and it doesn't get any better. It just gets worse. So yeah, this is was this the fourth down fail? No, this isn't the fourth down fail. The next timestamp I had was the fourth down fail by the Kansas City Chiefs. That'd be 12:49 in the video. So yeah, 3rd down and 12. They got to go for this 4th and 5. Okay, and this is a terrible play by the Kansas City Chiefs. Okay, we got to slow that down and just break that down, because I just don't really understand what they were doing. Patrick Mahomes doesn't. He keeps his eyes turned in the same direction the entire play. Slow it down. Okay, so look at this. Right from the snap, Patrick Mahomes, he's already looking that way. Look, he looks. He never takes his eyes off DeAndre Hopkins. Toss it to him. The Eagles defensive back reads that and slaps the ball out of the way. Horrible 4th down conversion. And that was just how this game was just different. Constantly throughout, all these Chiefs games that we've watched, all these Super Bowls with Patrick Mahomes and Andy Reid, they've cooked up, these magical plays that always just seem to do good in the biggest moments. And, that was a pivotal play. They're down 27-0. They need that 4th down. They have to go for it midfield, 4th and 5. And it's a terrible play call. I don't understand what they were doing. Andy Reid just did not call a good play, or did not call a good game in this Super Bowl. And that's obvious, but yeah. This next play is where basically the game was, the game's already over, but now it's really over. This is the dagger. The absolute dagger by the Philadelphia Eagles. This is the big chunk play. And it's a fake to Saquon Barkley. All the Chiefs defensive players, they crowded the box right there. They thought that ball was going to Saquon, but nope, they go straight for the dagger to Devontae Smith. And this game is officially over, 34-0. I mean, this is just one of the worst beatdowns we've seen in a long time. I mean, we saw Seahawks Broncos a few years ago. That was most recent beatdown I can remember. But this is just, it's really bad. The Eagles are just destroying them. Like Lord have mercy. It's 34-0. Okay. Oh, they're showing a replay of this, and it's slow. I need to speed this up a bit. But yeah, all the Chiefs players thought this ball was going to Saquon. They all crowd the box, and they all think he has the ball. But nope, the Eagles are not rolling to run the ball. They're trying to finish the Chiefs off for sure. And yeah, just a great ball by Jalen Hurts. That was his Super Bowl MVP play right there. This is the point in time where everybody's checking the scoreboard during the game and being like, what? 34-0? The Chiefs are losing that bad? And yes, your eyes do not deceive you. It's 34-0 with 2 minutes and 40 seconds to go in the third quarter. Yeah, Patrick Mahomes, you got a lot of work to do. So yeah, the Chiefs, this is their first big offensive play right here to Xavier Worthy. It's already garbage time at this point. The Eagles probably aren't trying as much as they were earlier. But it's finally the Chiefs' first big offensive play. And at 2 minutes and 21 seconds to go in the third quarter, the Chiefs have made it past midfield. Let's go. The Chiefs have made it past midfield. Wow, woohoo. Finally, they made it past midfield. I mean, it's just ridiculous how bad they were in this game. And, of course, Patrick Mahomes is running for his life. Yeah, that was a fun shovel pass to Travis Kelce, but obviously it doesn't matter. This game's already over. This is where the Chiefs finally managed to get on the board. It's a great throw by Patrick Mahomes to Xavier Worthy. That was a great play, but obviously take it with a grain of salt because obviously the Eagles probably aren't trying as much. It's 34-0. They're obviously, toned it down a bit. Then, of course, they go for the 2-point try, and, of course, it fails. I don't understand. They were going to Travis Kelce. It didn't work. Cooper DeJean was locking him up. But, yeah. Okay, what was the next play? My timestamps here. Chiefs get on the board. Okay, this is the next thing I was going to talk about is the 6th and final sack of the game for the Philadelphia Eagles, which is a minute ahead in the video. Oop. Okay, so yeah, he's already on the ground by the time I got him there. This was the strip sack fumble. So it was a strip sack fumble that practically tore Patrick Mahomes' arms off. Look at this. Jalen Carter just runs into him too. Like Patrick Mahomes is getting beat up in this game. So strip sack fumble, Thank goodness they didn't call a roughing the passer penalty, which I guess congratulations to the refs. But yeah, this is the 6th and final sack of the game. It counts as a sack. I mean, you could just call it a forced fumble, but they counted it as a sack. It was the 6th and final sack of the game. And yeah, the Eagles got the ball back, and this game is just, it's 37-6. This is just an absolute beatdown of the Kansas City Chiefs. This is a big point in the game because the Eagles get 40 points. So it would be 40-6. But I just want to say the Eagles obviously were not trying anymore. They were just running the ball, trying to just kick field goals. They could have easily won 60-6 if they wanted to. I mean, 60-0 if they really wanted to, because they really let the Chiefs score that touchdown, basically. Maybe not. Maybe they probably didn't let the Chiefs score that. That's an exaggeration. But yeah, so this is the point in time where it's like, honestly, why do you even have Patrick Mahomes in the game? Obviously, he wants to compete. It's the Super Bowl. But he is your franchise player, and, he's playing in a game that doesn't matter anymore because they're not going to win. But at this point in time in the game, the Eagles have all their backups in, basically. So, the Chiefs are going up against their backups here. This is probably where they score another touchdown. Yeah, they get their second touchdown. DeAndre Hopkins, who I guess sort of redeems himself for his drop from earlier. But now he can say he's got a touchdown in the Super Bowl. Woohoo. And then they do get the 2-point conversion here. Who'd this go to? I think it was Noah Gray. Yeah, that's right. So he gets it. Or no, that's not Noah Gray. That's the Watson. I can't remember his first name. Oh yeah, this is the onside kick. I want to talk about this. So this was a really good onside kick idea. So basically they just have people replay that. Because I wanted to talk about that. Okay, let's put it even more slow motion because there's a lot to talk about for this onside kick. Now obviously the game's over. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if they recover this onside kick or not. But it was kind of interesting what Andy Reid had in store for the onside kick. So for starters, he has Andrew Chenal kick the ball off here for the onside kick, and then they just ram into all the Eagles guys so that they can't recover the ball, so then the other guys in the back can recover it, and then there's the ball rolling around. Obviously, the Eagles still recovered it, but it was a good onside kick, and I think NFL teams should do more things like that anyway. Okay, the last thing, we're already 20 minutes into the video. I mean, this video is probably pretty painful to watch, but you got an 18:02 in the video for my last thing that I'm going to talk about, and that is when Patrick Mahomes airs the ball out in garbage time to pad his stats and basically make the score seem closer than it really was. Patrick Mahomes airs it out. It's a beautiful throw, but obviously this is against the Eagles' backups. It doesn't even matter at this point. And Xavier Worthy, he had a great statistical game, but it didn't really matter. Okay, so we're finally done breaking down all the play-by-play of the game. I've learned from this. I'm a terrible play-by-play announcer, but doesn't matter. We're done with that. So now there's more statistics and stuff to talk about, implications from the game in general, and all that stuff. If you're still here, we're 21 minutes into the video. Or wait, no, never mind. This is the second video I've started, so it's 21 minutes, because then that's not counting the intro, which I recorded separately. So this video is probably longer than that. But anyway, point of the matter is that if you're still here, I honestly don't know why. But okay, I'm a terrible play-by-play announcer, but we're getting into better things. So this is the quarterback comparison of Super Bowl 59 between Patrick Mahomes and Jalen Hurts. Obviously, Jalen Hurts was Super Bowl MVP. So Patrick Mahomes, he padded his stats a ton, and near the end of the game, he had that deep bomb to Xavier Worthy. But let's be honest, he did not play a good game. Now, obviously, he was under pressure the whole time. It wasn't his fault. His offensive line literally didn't even block their guys. So yeah, but he had 65.6% completion percentage, 257 passing yards, 3 passing touchdowns, 2 interceptions, a respectable 95.4 passer rating, 25 rushing yards. He did have the strip sack fumble. He was sacked, obviously, 6 times, which is the most he's ever been sacked in a game his entire career. He was sacked on 15.79% of all of his pass attempts. He got sacked. He was under pressure basically the whole game. Jalen Hurts had an amazing game, though. Now, obviously, he had that terrible interception, but besides that, and especially after the interception, he basically played a perfect game, and he did everything that he needed to do. 77.3% completion percentage, 221 passing yards, 2 passing touchdowns, 119.7 passer rating, no fumbles, 72 rushing yards, and a rushing touchdown. He was only sacked twice. Jalen Hurts, obviously, now, I voted for him for Super Bowl MVP because he was the most obvious option. But, as Nick Sirianni said during postgame, obviously football is the ultimate team sport, and if I was going to sum this up, basically the Eagles, everyone on their Eagles, they did their job perfectly, okay? It was just, there's good statistics all around from all the Eagles players. They all just worked together to beat the Chiefs. And, there wasn't one standout performance for the Eagles. You know, that really, the offensive line and the defensive line were the heroes of the Eagles in this game. Okay, so now we're going to be talking about stats, because why not, of Super Bowl 59. And basically we just have some, performances from some of the, popular players in the game. So A.J. Brown had 3 catches for 43 yards and a touchdown. Devontae Smith had 4 catches for 69 receiving yards and a touchdown. He obviously had that one big touchdown catch for, I can't remember how many yards it was. But yeah, he had that one big touchdown catch, the dagger that we were talking about earlier. Saquon Barkley, he didn't have a terrible game. He had obviously, the Chiefs obviously came to the game with the main plan being to stop Saquon Barkley, but he still had 97 yards from scrimmage. And surprisingly, he did lead the Eagles in catches. No player on the Eagles in the Super Bowl had more catches than him. He had 6 catches. But what was I going to say? So basically, Saquon Barkley did a great job in pass protection. So when I was watching the game, one thing I noticed from Saquon is that he was doing a great job picking up the Chiefs' blitzes. It was just, he did a great job, and it really helped Jalen Hurts have more time to throw the ball. Zach Bond and Cooper DeJean combined for 2 interceptions, a touchdown, and 10 combined tackles. They were just on fire this game. Travis Kelce, obviously, he's Patrick Mahomes' main target, especially in the playoffs. He was held to 4 catches for only 39 yards and obviously no touchdowns. And then, of course, what are we going to talk about next? Xavier Worthy. He led the Chiefs in catches with 8 catches, 157 yards, and 2 touchdowns. Xavier Worthy's stat line is the most impressive here, but obviously all those stats are from garbage time, and they're not impressive at all, so take it with a grain of salt. But yeah, Josh Sweat and Milton Williams are basically defensive MVPs, I guess, for this game. They combined for 4.5 sacks and a forced fumble. Just an amazing performance by these two guys, and they're probably going to have really good seasons next year. They seem like great upcoming stars. Obviously, Josh Sweat's been in the league for a while. But yeah, so just domination from the Eagles, obviously. Okay, so now on to my Super Bowl notes. So obviously, we already talked about the 6 sacks a bunch of times. The main thing the Chiefs need to address, in the offseason is their offensive line. It's obviously the weakest part of their team, their offensive line. I mean, after this Super Bowl, we've realized there's tons of flaws with the Chiefs, but the main thing stems from the offensive line. You allow 6 sacks. Now, obviously, their offensive line is probably middle of the pack this year, but you're not going to win the Super Bowl with a middle of the pack offensive line. I mean, I guess they've done it so many times, but you're definitely not going to do it against a team like the Eagles. Let's put it that way. Next point, Chiefs didn't even get on the board till 34 seconds left in the third. That's just ridiculous. Who would have thought that the Chiefs wouldn't even score any points until 30 seconds left in the third quarter? Almost the fourth quarter. They almost went scoreless for 3 quarters. I mean, it's just no one would have thought that. Another thing is Kareem Hunt and Pacheco only had 6 rushing attempts combined. They never even ran the ball hardly at all in this game. Only 6 rushing attempts between those 2 running backs. It's ridiculous. And then, of course, they only had 49 rush yards all game long. 25 of those came from Patrick Mahomes, okay? So the Chiefs were just held in check the entire game, especially from the running game. Andy Reid's plan was basically just forget the running game. We're not going to worry about that. And then, of course, Philly obviously had great pass protection. We obviously know that. Their offensive line dominated the Chiefs. Domination. This is also Patrick Mahomes' last game in his 20s, so I guess it's kind of crazy. He'll be 30 next year. He's obviously had a great career up to this point. And then, of course, the big headline could be Travis Kelce's last NFL game. He could retire. We don't know. I mean, he obviously doesn't want to retire on a loss like this, but he is going to be 36 next year. And then, obviously, no three-peat. We don't need to talk about that anymore. And then my favorite point, Kenny Pickett now has more Super Bowl wins than Josh Allen, Lamar Jackson, and Joe Burrow have combined. So just let that sink in. And I guess that's most of what I have to talk about. I'll probably yap for a bit longer, but yeah, thanks for watching my train wreck of a recap of the Super Bowl 59 in-depth analysis. But yeah, so I guess the last thing we'll talk about is where the Eagles and Chiefs go from here. So obviously, congratulations to Eagles fans and the Eagles. They just, they played an amazing game. One of the most dominant performances we've honestly ever seen in the Super Bowl. I mean, obviously there's been a lot of beatdowns in the Super Bowl, some really historical beatdowns, but this is up there because the Eagles they hardly even, they didn't even hardly even need to play. Near the end of the third quarter, they hardly even needed to play anything. And I just find that really interesting because, okay, I'm getting a phone call from somebody. I don't know if I should answer it or if I should continue making the video. We'll answer it. Oh, okay. We're back from that. Basically, my cousin called me, and guess what we talked about? We talked about Super Bowl 59, so yeah, basically I've been talking about that for like a few hours now, basically. Anyway, so there's probably not much more I need to really say to recap this video. If you sat through my train wreck of an analysis of Super Bowl 59, then thank you, I guess. But yeah, it was an interesting game. As I said, if I had 2 words to describe the game, it'd be chess match, because it's just a chess match between two like the best teams in the league. And it's crazy how like the Chiefs defense, obviously we saw that Steve Spagnuolo is just, obviously we've all been talking about it, and we all talked about this heading up to the game. He's obviously been creating all these crazy blitzes that's just taking down all these good quarterbacks in the playoffs like Lamar Jackson, Josh Allen. Lamar Jackson was last year, but still he used all those same blitz packages to take them down. And it's crazy how the Eagles want to let that happen. Now, obviously the big thing is, of course, that the Eagles have the tallest and heaviest average offensive line in Super Bowl history, which just makes it obviously a lot easier to protect your quarterback. But yeah, the pass protection was the main thing. And if the game is over, by like let's be honest, the game was over like 10 minutes in the third quarter. That's how bad this was. So the Chiefs got blown out. They've got tons of things to address in the off season, and yeah, it was an interesting game. But yeah, huge congratulations to the Philadelphia Eagles. Where is their helmet? Huge congratulations to the Philadelphia Eagles here. But yeah, you can't even really see that. But yeah, they did a good job, and yeah, Super Bowl champions. Enjoy it, Eagles fans. For the first time since February 2022, a team not named the Chiefs won the Super Bowl. So yeah, it's crazy how it's been that long. But yeah, thank you for watching.